Jammies for June is back, and you can provide warm jammies and winter essentials to children in our community who need it most. And the Middlemore Foundation right now are behind this initiative. They're aiming to address the need. And this morning we have the privilege of being joined by Margi Mellsop, the CEO of the Middlemore Foundation, to explain how you can make a difference this morning with Pyjamas. Well, good morning, Margi. Thank you for coming in today.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a remarkable thing, Jammies, isn't it? On the one hand, feels so ubiquitous, and yet there's a real need for something like this over winter. What are we looking for with this initiative this time around? How many are we looking to find?
Well, we are hoping to get 20,000 pyjamas to 20,000 children in our wonderful community of South Auckland.
Wow.
That target was set for us by Dame Valerie Adams. That elite sports people like to have a target to go for, and so she set it for us. And we're just over halfway so far. So we've got a month to go until we hopefully reach the target. Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, look, you've got to have a target. You've got to have a plan of where you're headed.
Exactly.
But let's talk about the scale of need, because I mentioned that there are kids that are simply just cold, and as a result, they're getting sick. They're overloading the hospital, which is already under a lot of pressure right now. So what's the scale of need that you're seeing personally right now?
Counties Manukau has got the highest level of social deprivation in New Zealand. That's not a lie. It's unfortunate, and that is hitting our tamariki. There are a lot of young families and with young children who are doing it really hard and have been now for some number of years. If you're a mum or a guardian of some sort, first call, always food, shelter. And then there's the electricity bills, then there's the water bills, then there's all the uniforms. There's all those other things that come. But you've got to feed that child first, and then you've got to make sure that child is in a home. Now, in New Zealand, for whatever reason, and it is getting a lot better, a lot of those homes are cold, damp, and not particularly well insulated. So there is now the Healthy Homes Initiative, which is good, and people do have to landlords are on a bound to make that happen. But the electricity bills are just getting so high, so these children are living in overcrowded houses often, and they need to be fed, as I said, but those houses can be very cold. So we see a large number of children coming into our hospital with respiratory-related illnesses. Even worse, which is a disgrace on the nation in many ways, is that there are still a large number of kids who get rheumatic fever, which really is a third world disease. It should not be happening in New Zealand, and it is.
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of this program in just a second, but I'd love to hear from you in terms of getting involved in this initiative in the first place. Why did you decide to get involved with something like this?
So Middlemore Foundation I've been working with now leading for about 3 years, and I absolutely love it. My initial career was always more in the creative cultural sector. I did things like set up the comedy festival and worked with the Auckland Museum and various other things. And then about 10 years ago, I did a career shift and I went and worked at World Vision. And then Fred Hollow's Foundation, and then found myself here. So I think the thing that motivated me, both of my parents are ministers, so nice. I'm not, and so while I'm not necessarily, a practicing Christian, I do have that, that idea of, of faith that runs through, and being a good citizen, and being a citizen that, can kind of care for others as well, or try to. That's a purpose, not necessarily, that can be a driving purpose for so many people if they choose to have it as a driving purpose, which would make life so much better.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of the charitable initiatives in this country are run by faith-based organisations that really believe that we have to love our neighbours, we have to care about the people around us in our communities. And there is so much need, like you talked about. And I'm just reminded of the fact that you talked about basic essentials like food. Well, with the price of butter being upwards of $8 at the moment, people who weren't suffering before with their finances are now finding it super difficult. So those who were already kind of struggling a little bit are now struggling a lot, immensely. Yeah. My question too is, with this issue of like warm housing and and kids coming into the hospital, are there systems in place that help them know about their rights as tenants as well? Because I think there's a big challenge in this particular area where a lot of people don't actually know what their rights are when it comes to the kind of housing conditions they have.
Yeah. So when I first started, I thought Jammies was a great initiative, but in many ways it's not necessarily, it's like a sticking plaster, which is needed.
Yes.
But what can we do that would actually ensure that a child doesn't need to come back into hospital once they've been here before? So we're now working very closely with a great organisation called AFI, AFI Healthy Homes. So they go and check the homes, know what needs to happen to make it warmer, ensure that they know what their rights are for the landlords if they're living in that situation. Also in that partnership, we have the electricity providers. So they're doing their best to ensure that the families have got some support from them, and MSD as well. So we try, and then we while they're at the hospital, we have the ability to kind of discuss with them at that moment what rights they have, what access to services they have, and various other things. So we Jammies, as I say, is a great initiative, and it does make a huge difference.
Yeah, because it's building awareness, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But then we want to have the ability to have a sustainable approach to ensuring that the tamariki that come into our hospital have the best chance of not having to come back again for that particular illness.
Yeah, look, it's a great initiative then. So let's talk specifically then about the Jammies. What are we doing here? How does this work?
Well, so if you go onto our website, you can buy a virtual pair of Jammies and put them onto our line, and then that then allows us to go out and purchase Jammies, and we work very closely, not just with the hospital, obviously, but our community nurses and Mana Kids, which is a network of primary schools all around South Auckland. So we are in the process now of actually delivering those, and we're very fortunate that tomorrow we have a delivery partner in a couple of members of the Warriors. So they're coming out to help us with the delivery. Then, of course, the other thing you can do is sign up to be a member of Dame Valerie's Jammie Army. Form your own squad, and that means you can do anything, from a work squad, a school squad, church squad, whatever you want to have. You can have a pajama day. You can also turn up. Some people we know have actually managed to turn their office, talk about best bedroom office cubicles.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. So you can do anything from dress up parties, pajama parties to full sleep slumber party themed
anything
rooms.
Yeah. And
So cool.
and so you come along, have some fun, get dressed in your Jammies, bring a pair of Jammies. And what's kind of cool is that a lot of the retailers are coming on board as well, so that Jammies that perhaps a few years ago might have been $20 are down in price to $10, just to ensure that people who do want to buy new Jammies have the ability to do that as well. So it's great. We have donors that are often living in unhealthy homes themselves, but it's saying, look, it made a difference for me last year. I'm going to give a pair this year. So it's amazing.
Awesome. Well, lots of different ways to get involved, whether that's buying a virtual pair of Jammies or buying an actual pair of Jammies. And we just want to say a big thank you, Margi, for joining us this morning to talk about Jammies for June. And the webpage again, just for people, if they want to check it out.
jammiesforjune.org.nz.
jammiesforjune.org.nz. Buy yourself a virtual pair this morning. Thanks
Fabulous.
again, Margi.
Thanks, Margi.
Thank you.
Amazing. I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe and turn your notifications on so you don't miss the next video.
We'll see you in the next one.